playing to game 5 against a crew, but they did get the win on some excellent shooting from Garrett G. Will that victory be enough to light the fire back under this team and bring back the consistency we've seen from them so much? Here's Squishy with an opportunity on net, and he won't miss. That's the first goal for NRG.
NRG not wasting any time getting started against FaZe. It started off real quickly. When we watched that game 5 against a crew, it took a little longer to get that offense going, but NRG get on the board first and establish that oh so important early game momentum.
This is the first killer. Looking for to bounce back here. We saw one shot on net from FaZe in that opening volley. And then immediately it was NRG's ball.
Here's one thing I'll say in your favor, Wave Punk, is FaZe, the only thing that hampered them in that last best of 5 against NRG was their shooting. Everything else looked really good for FaZe. FaZe get this reputation that is really undeserved now, because in the past, were they really a team-oriented, a team play-oriented team? No. They were really focused more on solo efforts, outplaying you, but that's just not true anymore. In that last series against NRG that they played, they tried everything they had in their arsenal with passing plays, keeping the ball close, trying different things, demos. They literally tried everything, but it was the shooting. The shooting was abysmal from FaZe. That has to improve against NRG here. As long as everything else is clicking like it was last time, if their shooting is better, I truly believe they can take this series.
That's kind of... It's sad that that's like just true of all of Rocket League. Like, you can be like B tier at everything except for shooting, and if you're S tier at shooting, you're gonna be Supersonic Legends. Congratulations! Like, if every time you touch the ball, it's just a rocket to the enemy team's goal, you're gonna do pretty well in this game. And the opposite is also true. You can have all of the strategy, all of the positioning, all of the boost management, but if you can't, when the opportunity is right in front of you, put the ball between the posts, you're not gonna win games. So FaZe, the one piece of the puzzle that's missing is a pretty important one. Let's see if they found it over the course of this week.
The most important mechanic in the game. It's something a lot of players out there might forget when they're learning flip resets and musty flicks is actually putting it in the net. But right now, FaZe have stabilized. It has really not been any one team's favor. NRG have done a good enough job getting to these challenges in the third.
Off the wall, here's AJ. The pass out to Typical. Well drawn up, but Garrett G intercepts on the passing lane. Squishy puts it to midfield, and AJ not able to pick it up on the first bounce. First killer will connect it with him on the wall. And back to Justin here. First killer just pops the break. Jumps in the air, gets the block, and now transition at halftime. 1 goal game right now. FaZe looking to tie things up.
No hit there from Typical. Might generate a chance here from Squishy. He slows it down. He knows it, but there's nothing there for Justin to go for. He backflips off the play. Garrett uses all of his boost and barely gets back to that ball. First killer's going to have advantage. Got that corner boost steal. NRG is starting to feel a little bit of pressure, though. Corner boost does spawn for Squishy, and the rest of FaZe have pulled it off, so NRG no sweat off that last defensive push.
2 minutes left to go. First killer has been wonderful this game, especially on defense. She puts it high. First killer just putting pressure on Garrett, who still gets the clear. AJ with some space now connected with Typical. Does he give it back to AJ? He does. AJ's reaching for it. I don't think he was ready for it. Didn't have the boost either. First killer's going to miss on his flight. It's all up to Typical just to hold on to this pressure. AJ's got a full tank now. He gets it past Squishy onto the backboard, but Garrett G will clear it to the edge. Justin in net. We should have a solid setup for NRG to get back on offense.
Garrett ripped it down, and AJ followed that ball perfectly, and Squishy barely makes the stop. First killer had pre-jumped, thinking he knew exactly where that ball was going to go. Now Typical's rotated back, and this is exactly what happened last time when these two teams played. Quick transitions, quick shots on net. Here's another one, but Justin's going to slow it down, and it's saved by Typical. First killer getting there quickly with a massive follow-up to get FaZe out.
Oh, first killer is just... especially in his own half. Every touch is about the best touch he could possibly be making. This one dropping into the box, but no one home from either team. First killer will pass to Typical. Straight down the midline. Justin to Garrett G on the outside. AJ blocks. First killer's up for it. Looking for the shot. Blocked by Squishy. Justin going to dodge one demo. And now I'm going to back into this. Out of boost. Bumped out of the play. First killer stops it for AJ, but Garrett G just collapses on it. AJ now in the midfield. Runs into Squishy and NRG.
Oh, no.
Not giving FaZe a single ounce of field. Not giving them an acre, not giving them an inch. 30 seconds remaining.
And when they do put in a bid, Really, they get stuffed by NRG, who keep changing the pace on them, slowing it down, hitting the brakes. First killer earlier, he tried to pre-jump Squishy. That one was more just where the touch went, but then he tried to pre-jump Justin, double hopped, and Justin just stopped, let first killer fly by him. The first killer's in front again, and he does it every time for FaZe. You need a goal, you call first killer's number.
He gets the flip reset. I think everyone positions to guard that. He's like, nah, I'm just going to block it. I'm just going to block you here, man. It's going to bounce just ever so soft, uses the side of his car. It kills some of the inertia or the velocity that the ball could gain, the power the ball could gain, so it doesn't bounce above the crossbar, just tucks it underneath. With 7 seconds left, FaZe is tied it up.
First killer wins the touch. AJ's only got 25 and has to pull back. NRG, do they play it on the transition? First killer hops on top of it, and I just time it again. When FaZe look like they're about to be beaten down, even out of regulation, first killer somehow always comes up with the clutch goal. He's one of the most ridiculous players that have ever played this game, and his clutch factor is enormous for FaZe. And what a goal to get FaZe back into it, and they've even got some pressure here at the start of overtime.
All right, how long was the overtime last week?
It was 11 plus. I can't remember it was like 11:56, I think. No, 13:56.
Yeah, that was at least 13. 13:56. All right, cool. Got to get 14 minutes this time. Let's go. Come on, guys. We can do it. Break the record.
Yes. Maybe, you know what? 60 shots this time. Can you double your shot output? That would be pretty ridiculous. Can you imagine 60 shots in one RLCS match?
That would be so many. I'd be doing good to remember 8 of them.
That's like 3 pairs of your hands.
Yeah, how many? Man,
yeah,
that's a good way to think about it.
It's a lot of fingers, but first killer.
If I had my 2 hands and I have a pair of them, and I do that 3 times.
Yeah, that's 60.
Are you guys okay?
No. Over one. Oh, that was wide. Is wide.
Well, you're right. It's not 3 pairs. Well, as we say in the casting booth all the time, math is hard. But
if you count your 2 hands as one, and then you have a pair of hands, which is 4 total. Then you have 3 pairs.
So the math works out if we change the terminology. Quick pass to first killer. Oh! That was
well done.
Disgusting. Go ahead, Wave.
Oh, but how many did he need here? Only 8 shots for first killer in this game, not 60, but well placed on the 2 that mattered, and they'll get game 1.
Oh my goodness. FaZe coming up with the first killer win. And how about it? At the top of the scoreboard, absolutely deserves it. 2 goals off of 8 shots from first killer alone, off the 11 total shots from FaZe. NRG, they really started out strong, but then just couldn't get a hold of the neutral zone anymore. FaZe got to march into the blue half for free, and they just couldn't get anything going in that second half.
Those 2 saves from first killer also both super critical. Without those touches literally were there's saves, and then there's the goals literally going in. It's a rocket to the net. It was a great shot. First killer making the stop, keeping his team alive, getting them to overtime, and then getting them the overtime winner.
I think we should still avoid math on the cast. And when
it was pretty slam dunk in my brain when I came up with it, Leaf. I was confident. Okay,
this is hands, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a pair of them. So you see, so now between Jordy and I, we have a pair. We have a pair, right?
So like me and Wave Punk together, we're 1 pair.
We're 1 pair. 3 of those is 60 fingers.
That's 60 fingers.
Why
That's
are
what I
you
was talking
guys
about.
one
See, Wave Punk and I are on the same wavelength. He understood what I couldn't verbalize, Leaf, and he slammed it home for me. Thank you, Wave.
I'm glad you 2 are on the same page at least.
I get it. Smile in chat if you understand.
Nothing really.
One's in chat. One's in chat if you understand. Listen,
I get it.
Smiley face. Oh, you want smiley face? I'm sorry.
I want to say I get it. Smile.
Oh,
at least trying to run a real show.
I'm trying to do something here, and fingers are more important, I suppose. Counting. No, nothing really interested to happen. I'm not gonna lie. There's
so many ones in chat. Oh, that's cool. Oh, good.
Squishy was there.
Squishy was there. I discredited Squishy. I'm sorry, Squishy.
You did good on defense.
Oh wow, what a ballet move!
It's like a
pirouetting.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna say pirouette because it's the one ballet word I remember. I don't even know what a pirouette is. Maybe
for so long, I've been trying to find like a play or a goal where I could call it the flying pirouette, but there's so few true air dribble goals that are scored now at this level that you just never really get that opportunity.
That's a really solid team name just waiting to happen. You guys can have that for free.
Yeah, take it. When you
I just sold your idea for free.
That works. That's fine. It's in the public domain now. It's too late.
Off the backboard for free. Follow from AJ. No, Garrett G in the front of the box, going to cover it up. And NRG looking to bounce back after dropping game 1. Just saying, not good signs.
Well, they do have the neutral zone right now. AJ's back. He's got the touch out. And first killer's going to be the one on duty for shooting. I think FaZe are going to be in good hands. Here he comes off the ceiling. He's got the reset. Let it drop. Typical also tried to help out, but it pushes back over to the neutral zone. And AJ will buy some time as first killer's deleted.
Typical was able to get there a moment. Oh, there's a
news orb here, or news leaf here. Just a little bit interesting. Remember, we do have team streams going on. If you want to check it out, interesting. Version 1, currently up 2 on Envy. They're 1 game away from clinching majors. Definitely something if you want to head over to the V1 stream and check out them if they're in that game 3 right now.
Wow, that's huge. V1, one of the top teams in North America, easily have solidified themselves as top 4.
And some questions for them in the spring split as well as to whether they were going to be able to continue that trajectory. So nice to see from them.
That's so many teams will have like one really good pop-off moment and then just the follow-ups not there. Not the case for version 1. Garrett G with a flip reset blocked by AJ high in the sky. Ball from Justin. I think he got actually bumped on his initial trajectory. Now Sipical dropped at the first killer onto the backboard. AJ's up 4. Got a little bit of space, but going to have to work an angle here to get this towards the goal. Somehow first killer gets that for free. And again, still nobody on the backboard. Dropped the Sipical. Oh my goodness, Justin bailing out NRG when they did not deserve it. And we'll stay scoring.
That pass back over to AJ, and he just couldn't put any power on it. And I believe a pause has been called. And we'll figure out what's going on and get back to the game as soon as possible.
This is going to be the saving grace for, okay, looks like there's a small technical issue on Justin's end. Should get cleaned up here pretty quickly. That last drive, though, like the backboard being open the first time, okay, fine, quick transition. Backboard being open the second time, hello? How do you not have somebody up there by that point? I don't know. You've had
two of them had no boost. That was Justin used the rest of his boost on the last save.
You got to get on the backboard when you have no boost because you can't get up there. It's free altitude.
What? You can absolutely get up there. I actually like how. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Yeah,
because you don't have boost, but being on the backboard is good, Leaf, right?
Right.
If you have two hands, Leaf. And you have
so I'm sorry, I'm listening to you guys analyze here, but I genuinely can't get over the fact that you think a pair of hands is 4 hands.
Leaf, we're dropping it.
Hands.
We're dropping it.
These are my hands.
We're dropping it.
If I have a pair of them, there's 4 of them.
Anyways, Justin came up with the save last time, and against the last series that they played, NRG and FaZe, Justin was literally the hero on defense for NRG. He had come up with so many clutch saves. And again, at that end, you thought FaZe was going to score. And I really like how first killer's moving around the pitch on offense. These touches are all smart into areas where it's hard for NRG to get to it. They're forced to use a lot of boost on defense. They're forced to stretch. And I think first killer really, he's got his finger on the pulse of the series right now. And he's looking like the most dangerous player out there.
I think that generally is what it comes down to. I mean, if you look at, when you think FaZe Clan, one of the first names that will probably pop in your head is first killer. Right, like that's. I guess there's only 3 that could possibly, but that's probably the most likely name that would pop into your head because a lot of times first killer is leading the charge. Is one of the most mechanical, one of the best players in the world, and has often been debated as the best by a lot of people. So I'm not surprised that first killer's got this down pat and has been grinding recently to make sure that this team doesn't have that curse of always falling out in 3rd or 4th position in a regional. They want to get to the end. These are young competitors, Wave, that want to make that drive to win these regionals. They're not just here to be at the top 4. They're here to be the best.
It's the goal for everyone. I mean, we've seen plenty of teams, have their moments where, what was the last regional, seeing the teams that made the run, like the underdog teams showing up, making their big stories. Like it's a big thing for them to even make it to top 4 at that point. But the moment you've done it once, then making top 4 is not as satisfying. You have to get the win. You have to improve always. So for both these teams, just making it isn't going to cut it.
No, they do reset on the kickoff. About the halfway point in the match, or in the game, excuse me, is Justin trying to get the dunk there. And I think for NRG, they got to find a way to get into these challenges. It has been difficult because, like I said, I think first killer's really had a good eye on the blue half, and it's been tough for NRG to be in position for his touches. He's put them away from them, but let's see how NRG can adapt after they've been able to reset on the kickoff, and first killer misses what would have been a juicy redirect.
That was a really solid pass. Pretty unblockable shot, but just wide. The star shooter here for FaZe. Well-placed shot here. First killer can jump back in front of it. He made the first clear and then does a 180 and gets a second save. NRG's got to figure out how to deal with first killer this game because if there was accuracy problems for FaZe previously, first killer doesn't remember.
And another demo from Garrett as well. The pass to Justin forces Typical to come up, but there's first killer stuffing them in the neutral zone. AJ beating Garrett to the ball. If he can get the rebound, he just goes up, forces Squishy onto the wall. But you saw Typical not willing to commit on that play, respected Squishy on his approach. And we're kind of neutral again here as we approach the final minute. Oh no.
Trap from AJ.
He had the boost stolen from him as well. That could have been really dangerous. But right back into Typical's bumper. Not bad pass, but can't find Typical again.
Yeah, first killer for some reason puts it to the corner. 1 minute remaining. No goals on the board for either team. A wonderful extension in front of the box. Typical tries to crash it, but Justin puts it just high enough. The bumper touch from Typical goes wide. Now Justin flying down the other end of the field looking for the counterattack. Pinches it into the corner. Typical through one. Keeping the ball high on his hood. Gets the dunk on Garrett. Justin will pinch it against his own backboard. It'll fling to the other end of the field. Justin putting it high. Garrett G chasing this one down. Typical's got a free backboard drop to the double tap. NRG will be on top in game 2.
That is a clean double touch from Garrett G. Justin lays it up. Typical was a little late on his launch, and Garrett barely beats him out. Nails that follow-up touch into the net. Excellent work from Garrett G. And not the worst time to score with 28 seconds left. Now FaZe really got a stretch here at the end.
Yeah, FaZe with their easily can come back from this, but man, NRG definitely stepping up from the way we've seen them play previously. Small touch here that Typical's going to advance on. Justin wasn't ready for it, but actually Typical with the miss. Justin will have free ball space. It's taken away now. 5 seconds left. Back to first killer. Over the top of Garrett. Undrop into AJ. Just wide follow-up. First killer's got an open space. Puts it back into the box, and Justin will block. No boost for AJ. He's going to have to work to keep it up. Not going to happen. NRG tie the series.
Oh, it's always got to be interesting at the end, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, I thought they had it. I saw the ball just hang time with only first killer behind the ball, and I'm thinking, oh, he's about to slop that, but he couldn't get any power on it. He didn't have a lot of boost, and Justin comes flying out of the net to save the day for NRG. And just like that, we're all tied up after that little pause. NRG hang on to that 1-goal lead. And it's still, I mean, this, honestly, it's anyone's game. You can't pick one or another. FaZe, really good passing, but Justin's pass to Garrett was absolutely clutch. Keeps it away from Typical, has too much space to cover, giving Garrett literally pixels of space to get that double touch.
And update across the board, that version 1 update, they have completed that 3-0 over Team Envy and clinched the major. Version 1 have clinched the major. So
nice.
Yeah, claps all around.
Claps in chat.
Looks,
we get calm giggles on land once again. Calm giggles in London, in fact.
They're in a good spot as they sit in the upper semis. And honestly, G2 doing what they do. They're looking like they're about to 3-0. And Space Station actually having trouble against Sonics. I think Sonics is definitely starting to show some of these top teams to watch out. Look out for us.
The Sonics fans continue to say, "Am I a joke to you? We just beat Complexity, who was your entire highlight reel at the start of the show, and now you're surprised we're doing well against Space Station here." So yeah, Sonics definitely a team to keep an eye on here. We had a moment like this. I feel like there were moments like this in the previous events too, where like the third regional, there always is some team that doesn't really stand to gain too much from a good performance, but yet still performs so well. And I feel like the Sonics may be having that split here. We'll see. If they beat Space Station, be a good sign for them.
Yeah, this could be that one regional for them for sure. They've been chomping for so long in the lab. I was really high on that team when RLCS 2021 had first started, and they just were not able to really put it together for a while. But now you're starting to see some results. Complexity is a really good result for Sonics. They don't have a lot of results like that as we get underway in game number 3 of NRG versus FaZe. Again, reminding you of the stakes for NRG. They need a top 4 placement in this regional just to make the major. But going down in the lowers this early, it's definitely going to make life a little more difficult. So they love to beat FaZe here. Squishy shot denied by AJ.
Well, one of these teams is going to drop to the lowers. That's just how dense the region is. When all the top teams win in round of 16, you have your top 8 in round 2. 4 of them dropped to the lowers. This is crazy.
It's nice for all those North American fans that are tired of hearing about EU depth and NA inconsistency to see these close qualifier teams playing a lot better. AJ, nice little wave landing there, but Garrett was on top of him on the challenge. Still like the use of the play. For everyone jumping at FaZe there, but so was NRG double committing. Squishy gets deleted. AJ says, oh no, he didn't want to pop it up like that. Garrett G gets on top of him. And the rest of FaZe have to wait as Justin doesn't want to just give it up. But there was nowhere else for him to really put it. First killer had difficulty grabbing onto it. Now Sipical got the air dribble in front. Justin's there again. Playing a lot like game 2 did, Wave, where you see a lot of battling, a lot of challenges in the neutral zone, maybe 1 or 2 shots, but other than that, it's really hard to get some consistent pressure against either team.
Now the midfield has been pretty equal across multiple games. With a miss on the backboard, Garrett G will punish. First goal goes NRG.
Oh, first killer. A very uncharacteristic miss here. Comes up and it's the post as he's going up the wall that ruins him. His approach was just a little off, and the wheel, it's very slight, but it clips him as he's on his way up. And that little minute difference is just enough to take him off the path, because he's got to be careful with where he puts that ball too. He has to be mindful of where exactly he's touching that. He doesn't want it to give it right back to NRG either. And it was just an unfortunate clip as he went up the wall.
Yeah, your dismount or your kind of your initial launch on any flight, it's 90% of how well you're going to do on getting to that ball. And when the unexpected kind of foot enters into the empty space and curves inwards like that, it's very difficult to overcome. And players good as AJ not gonna make it. Wall play shot here. First killer dives for it, makes the stop. Justin now looking to connect with Garrett G. Goes to the back wall. Runs into first killer. Typical now with the ball downfield.
FaZe are getting stuffed right now. Maybe they get it here. Typical took it across, but I really think that just gave away possession. Yeah, first killer had it. He could have had the 50. Maybe Typical follows that up, and now they get destroyed on the turnaround. Justin puts in a goal again here for NRG.
Typical not able to get away from Squishy, and AJ again. This time no post to blame. Goes for a high shot. I think he just kind of overjudges how high that ball's going to bounce. He's a little bit in front of it as well. Maybe just expecting Justin to crank the shot directly at the goal. Justin with enough time there to read AJ's positioning and bounce the ball under him for the shot. And for the first time, we got a 2-goal lead in this series. FaZe looking less and less in control as the series goes on against a team, again, they have yet to defeat.
And they only just picked up their 3rd shot about 10 seconds ago. There's their 4th. But for the majority of this game, they were held to 2 shots. And this is the most high-powered offense in North America. And if they're not taking shots, that's not going to get it done. No, big brain stuff there. But for FaZe, who have been just so good consistently, no matter who they play against, they put shots on net to hold them to 4 here, and maybe a 5th as it's saved. NRG gets a little pinch as well. First killer swings wide. It's around Justin. Garrett gets deleted. First killer's got 1 to beat, but Squishy was on top of it, and NRG kill another FaZe push.
Man, Squishy saw the demo on Garrett coming and just put everything he had into the thrusters and launches forward to make sure he meets that ball as early as possible. A great look for FaZe, shut down by quick awareness from Squishy. Earns himself a savior medal on the following drive. 51 seconds left. Up by 2. NRG with control. FaZe in a rough situation here. Nice pop there from Sipical, but Justin immediately grounds himself and stays in the play. And this was, I don't know how FaZe is struggling just to get the ball back.
Yeah, they get 1 touch out. First killer gets the wall here, but he gets knocked away by Squishy almost. Garrett G drills through him, and maybe that's it. Off the bar and in. Finally, they find a gap. Thanks to first killer, and delivering it home was Sip.
First killer with the flip reset. Wow. Justin tries his best, but well placed. He had given some separation off that back post, creating just 1 lane of kind of space behind him. But the FaZe offense was able to find 1 goal game, 23 seconds left. Suddenly bringing it within reach. That one bouncing across. Garrett misses. AJ's there. The tie game.
Oh, Garrett had scored off of a first killer miss earlier, and now he's just given that gift back to FaZe. Whoopsies. There's AJ who was playing that miss. He saw it ahead of time, and he knew that he could get to that net. Big tying goal for FaZe.
The NRG rotation hadn't fully formed up following kickoff, which leaves Garrett in a rough spot there. But a player as solid as Garrett should easily be able to pick up a ball moving that slowly. And 9 seconds left. NRG thought they had done everything they needed to win game 3. They're going to have to find one more goal. We've gone to an overtime once this series. Will we go again? FaZe with the last look. It drops into the ground. Overtime in game 3.
The pass was looking scary, but it was defended. There was a challenger in front. And a game that probably should not have gone to overtime as Justin gets deleted by First Killer. Squishy tries to keep it locked. AJ had to use all of his boost, and it's pushed back to the opposite side of the orange half. Squishy has got the corner boost, got the first 50, got the touchdown. Justin in front, denied by AJ. And FaZe a little tenuous here on defense. Everyone's sitting on 20 or lower right now, working on that small pad game, trying to get the clear. First Killer goes with the go-ahead demo, and it's taken out. FaZe trying to get that ball back out, and it's into the blue half.
First Killer getting pressured by Squishy. Drops it behind the frontline offense. Now AJ trapped past 1. This one goes out to Justin. And now beats First Killer, Typical, in the back. The third man will clean it up, send it to the corner. Now Squishy off the wall. Back into the midfield for no one. AJ will pick up control.
NRG waiting for this. And Garrett can't get that follow-up. You see Justin now has to get it in reverse. First Killer to get underneath it. He didn't have a lot of resource to work with there as he came down. His last pass was pretty disgusting for FaZe, but now they're back on defense. Justin whips this one across just to buy some time. Garrett was playing a loose second man there. Squishy was getting boost back, but he did his job, and Squishy gets the next touch. FaZe are in trouble. If First Killer can't get back to the 50, here comes Garrett diving in front. There's Typical to close it down.
Squishy back across. First Killer extends it to the corner. FaZe have been trapped in their back third for a bit here, but holding on just fine. This might fall apart, though. Last shot here. Squishy up for a blocked again. AJ at the point of contact, high in the sky in front of his box, makes a stop. NRG trying to gain control here. Squishy not going to be able to pick up the pass from Justin immediately, but Typical gives him some space, and suddenly the ball is left loose. Garrett G to close on it. Justin now picking it up on the following challenge. In the corner. Pass. Squishy blocked by First Killer. Typical bit on it as well. AJ and have to find a stop. Doesn't find it. Typical just barely makes this touch after having enough time to get back in rotation.
And the boost spawns just in time for First Killer. And now he's got to go ahead downfield. Flip reset. And Garrett's on top of it. He's seen it twice already. He's not going to get fooled again. Squishy pops it high. Garrett's already in the midfield. What's he got with it? Off the ceiling, and it's defended. FaZe aren't going to be that easy as they get the clear.
High in the wall. First Killer will be the first one with the ball. Droid just a step. Over his shoulder. How about it?
An absolutely ridiculous redirect from Typical. Hits it on the top of his hood. Pinpoint accuracy and power to boot. 131 kilometers of pain. Wave Punk.
Put that one in your top 7. That one went to 11. My goodness. And FaZe, just like that, after dropping being down by 2 goals in the final 30 seconds, win it here in overtime. NRG gonna be scratching their heads.
Oh, that was such a tense overtime. Belief. I gotta know your thoughts as we look at the Mobile One high performance replay.
Well, we picked out the most interesting match again to show on the broadcast because all the other ones have come to conclusion here. It's just FaZe and NRG now that are facing off. We have the back and forth.
Sounds
You're watching
right.
FaZe with some of the craziest plays as you expect from these mechanical players, Trippy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think NRG just started to fall flat a little bit. They were getting some transitions, but then all of a sudden FaZe, they were winning those touches. They were winning the neutral battle, but it was still like, it came down to a sick redirect from Typical where the net was well defended. The only reason that shot goes in is because of the power that he got on that shot. But guaranteed, that shot is 20 kilometers per hour slower. It's saved by one of the 2 defenders in net.
Before we continue the series on, I just want to update. As I said, all the other matches in this bracket are done. Space Station do take their victory over Sonics. They finally figured out what to do. G2 3 over Rogue. They actually clinched the #1 seed for the major for NA. So congratulations to G2. More claps around the board here. Now we just have FaZe and NRG Wave.
This is the last one. They go into game 4. Crazy other series are already finished. We're only in game 4. All these overtimes.
That's NRG FaZe for you. That's
Going
a goal.
back and forth, but that one, a failure on defense to clear is going to leave First Killer with an opportunity here.
Squishy got up for it. I mean, he did what he could on that play. It really just came down to that first unfortunate challenge where Garrett loses that. And what Squishy's supposed to do after that?
Yeah. It's not Squishy's fault that he's in that spot. You'd love to see him get a better touch, but you're kind of grasping at straws at that point. Honestly, if there's one player that has really impressed me this series, it has been Squishy on the defense and just the awareness from him on both sides of the ball of where to go. Garrett G is trying to fake out the entire defense, and Squishy, hey, there he is. Talk about the man. He's going to put one in.
Garrett attaches the plow to his Octane and shuffles out first killer out of the box. See you later. And gives Squishy that the clear path to the goal. A nice return fire there from Garrett G.
There are so many anime profile pictures in this lobby.
Such is life nowadays, Wave.
Bunch of weebs, and I love them to pieces.
They say if you have the anime profile picture, your shooting accuracy increases by a factor of at least 2.
I mean, it's definitely worked for FaZe.
That's a nice lob from Garrett, but first killer's there. NRG still trying to play that small ball game, popping the ball up high. Force FaZe to meet you in the midfield to win the ball. And they've met, and they've scored! 3-point passing play, typical at the end to put FaZe up.
All three of them connecting. AJ to first killer, back to AJ, over to Typical. Follow that one, defenders. You're getting cross-eyed, just trying to keep track of where the ball is. FaZe back on top. 3 goals in the first minute.
What's typically a very highly defensive series. But FaZe literally on the kickoff, start off with the goal. Now they might get another one. Here's first killer.
No.
And AJ tries to bully him out, and he does. He's got the boxing gloves out, puts one in for first killer.
Justin quaking in his boots here. He's looking at first killer. He goes, oh no, AJ. He doesn't have any way to stop first killer after that pressure. 2-goal lead now for FaZe. Well, here's the thing. We've seen the 2-goal lead dropped already in this series, and there was significantly less time on the clock for FaZe to work with. NRG's got nearly 4 minutes here to bounce back.
Oh, Justin was hoping he could get a 50. Instead, he gave FaZe a clear. Now Typical trying to cut off Squishy's escape. Squishy gets the touch. Back to Garrett. Garrett around AJ. First killer tries to get there, but no touch from him. Justin diving forward, but nothing materializes for NRG. Squishy's got to wait in midfield. And that touch is all AJ's as he pushes the ball out. But nothing developing there for FaZe. Back to Garrett.
Garrett G blocks. Squishy's up for this one as well. A double commit from Squishy and Justin, completely open backfield. Can Typical just put this in? He shouldn't miss. He won't. 4-1 FaZe on a catastrophic midfield position from NRG.
Uh-oh, it's starting to get dangerous. See Squishy getting bumped. Justin's trying to race back, but he only had 12 boosts, and that whole rotation just fell apart on that touch out. And this has gotten to unreachable territory.
This is that one goal makes a difference. Oh, on the outside. I'm not saying that playing him in the round of 8 wasn't going to make it too much for NRG, but I'm not saying that at this point. FaZe might finally get
this last time too, though, and then NRG still won. That was what? Oh, he loaded the cannon, and he knocked down the walls. Oh my goodness!
Look at him go. Oh, and then he gets a pitch with Garrett. Justin's like, come on, bro. No way. 128 kilometers per hour on that shot. For you metric people.
Straight line right to the top of what a crazy play.
My goodness. This is going to be, we saw a record-breaking overtime in the last series. We're going to need to see, not a record-breaking, but a record-tying comeback for NRG to force game 5. I think between top 8 teams, I don't think there's ever been, I don't know if there's ever been a 4-goal comeback.
At this level, I'm not sure. And that's another one.
So close.
It looked pretty, that one looked tasty. Yeah. But, this has to feel so good for FaZe. You really got the game in hand right now. You haven't beat NRG in 6 months. Like, this is definitely cathartic right now for this team that has just never been able to figure out what makes this NRG team tick, why they can't seem to beat them. And now they're really proving it in this best of 5. They just got to hold on to this lead with 2 minutes left. With how FaZe look, it's looking like FaZe are really going to take it.
It's Justin, the outside AJ. Gonna get the flip reset, and he's just burning time at this point. FaZe can easily go into clock burn mode here, and they're not even having to at this point. They're getting so much space from NRG. Back down, and the touch quality has dropped. NRG struggling. They just even keep energy, keep their mental under their feet when you're facing this level of a lead across all matches. In this situation, if a team leads by 4 goals, they win 99% of the time. It's so difficult to look at this situation and make it 5. Make it 5. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over, folks.
Now it's a 0% chance. The minute 7 left, and the wheels have definitely fallen off the wagon here for NRG. AJ picks up the demo, and that was the gap. I mean, even if AJ doesn't get that demo, that still is going to be a tough save. It was well placed. I mean, this FaZe team is looking on point right now. I said before, the only thing that held FaZe back in that last best of 5 they played against NRG was their shooting. There's been 0 problems with the shooting, especially in this game. You got 10 shots and you have 6 goals. That is the kind of efficiency you want to see from a team that has by far and away taken the most shots per game in an NA RLCS. That's the kind of offensive output you want to see against NRG, who have historically been very good on defense, and that's why FaZe have never been able to break them. But now they just might Brazil them at this point.
So I've been quiet here because I was trying to find the timeline in which this does work out for NRG, and in my extensive research, that timeline hasn't been created yet.
You went through 14 million options and came up with 0.
There
was not a single one where NRG wins this game 4.
Well, certainly not now.
If they thwart the Brazil here, this is good. As long as they keep it away.
Exactly.
There were a couple universes that happened though.
Well, FaZe do what they haven't been able to do for months. One more almost got the Brazil. Their first match victory against NRG in a long time. At least the first was typical on the roster, and that has to feel great if you're a FaZe fan.
Boys, I'm not saying I called it, but like, I'm really good at my job.
You picked
really
FaZe.
good at my job.
Yeah. You're pretty good, Wave. You're pretty good.
I'm pretty good at this job. Just like,
This
team's really good at playing Rocket League.
They have not been putting our predictions on the board, so really you could pull a Gibbs and just say whatever you want. There's no screenshots that can come back.
There's a video record. Let the record show I did not perjure myself.
Yeah, they got a clip.
Absolutely. There. The goals from FaZe in this final game, and again, going back to game 3, the overtime winner. I'm still thinking about that shot out of the corner. Like, FaZe came up in a new level. If accuracy was the problem last time, Jorby, they absolutely figured that out in between last week and now.
Yeah, and now NRG go down to the lower bracket. Again, they need a minimum of top 4 to make the major. That's the bar right now for this team. And it's just gotten a little bit harder. They would have been in a wonderful spot winning this match against FaZe, but now you're in the scrum down there. It's not pretty down in that lower bracket.
Yeah, my question then to you guys is, do you feel like this is an NRG wave that is going to be a top 4 NRG from what we just saw?
Man. I don't know. It is really hard to understand. I think if I'm doing my math correctly, they're facing the winner between Shopify and Complexity.
That's correct.
If they get a Complexity that rallies against Shopify and is able to bounce back, I'm
Anything
worried.
can happen down there, man.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out, and that is the match we'll be taking a look at. Shopify Rebellion and Complexity coming up after the break. More Rocket League action coming your way, so do not go anywhere.